Dr. Eka, welcome to my blog. Dr. Eka is a board certified general internist who practices functional medicine, who addresses the root cause of chronic conditions through the functional medicine approach and teaches techniques to intelligently manage energy and regulate emotions as a HeartMath certified trainer. We're really privileged to have you with us today, and just by reading the description of what you do, it really is amazing, and I'm pretty sure we'll learn a lot from you today.
I want to say thank you for the opportunity to be able to share the information that we'll be talking about with your audience, and thank you for inviting me, and I'm also excited to be able to get this out to more people.
Okay, thank you. So my video is mostly about holistic well-being, so that tackles emotional, mental, spiritual, physical, even other aspects such as financial and social. So what we really want today is like how your expertise in the field that you do, how can we relate it to our health, or how does it affect health? So we mentioned about HeartMath certified trainer. So what is it about?
HeartMath is a series or a set of tools and techniques that you can use to help you self-regulate your emotions and thereby also manage your energy. It's actually a research institute in the US, and they've been doing research for the past maybe 25 years on how our emotions and our heart rhythms are related and how that affects performance, overall health, on all the different levels that you mentioned, mental health, emotional health, and I'm saying physical health. So they've come up with a lot of different techniques that it's a very simple and yet very effective that I can teach to people to help them with primarily with stress, but not just stress. But I know everyone is so stressed right now. So.
With all that's happening, yes.
Yeah.
Would you like to tell us more about these kinds of steps that you mentioned?
Maybe I'll share the fundamental technique in HeartMath, which is called heart-focused breathing. And it's self-explanatory, right? So there are a lot of different breathing practices out there, and if you're familiar with yoga, and so much you can do with breathing, but this one is very simple. It's just focus your attention in the area of your heart, and you imagine your breath flowing into and out from your heart area, breathing a little slower and a little deeper than your usual. And that sounds very simple, but it accomplishes many things. So first of all, it shifts the way your heart is beating, right? It shifts your heart rhythm from something called an incoherent pattern to a more coherent pattern. There's a whole cascade of bodily effects that follow. Your blood pressure shifts, your brain functions better, the levels of stress hormones also come down, and your nervous system shifts from being in an alert fight or flight state, survival mode, into one that is for rest and digest mode, or for growth. The beauty of this technique is you're breathing anyway. Like, no one stops breathing, right? If you stop breathing, you're literally, quite literally dead.
Yeah.
So, you have thousands of opportunities in every day to do heart-focused breathing. And unlike other meditation techniques where you need to find a quiet space, you need to set aside some time, maybe close your eyes. With heart-focused breathing, you can do it in the moment, because again, you're breathing every moment. You're just putting in that intention and that awareness, and that shifts the quality of that breath.
Okay. So can you give us an example, Doctora? For instance, like me, I'm a flight attendant. So how in my line of work can I apply this? You said I can do it anytime. Let's say there's a delay. So normally, high level of stress for us or for the passengers. So us managing our energy, nagiging stressful na kami because of the complex environment. Ang daming kailangan gawin. Plus, of course, we have to take care of our passengers. We have to take care of the flight, the safety of the flight, everything, all that put together. So how can we now manage the energy, as you mentioned?
That would be a perfect example where you can use just the heart-focused breathing to stay calm, because again, that's not a situation where you can like step away and do a longer meditation. You have to literally be dealing with your passengers, keeping, as you're saying, keeping them calm, or if any of them are becoming irate, or
Yes.
you need to kind of calm them down. So doing
Yeah.
the heart focused breathing keeps you centered. It keeps
Mm-hmm.
you in a state that's not necessarily relaxed. We also don't want it to be relaxed in such a state, right?
Yes,
But it will
exactly.
keep you in a state where you're ready to respond.
Mm-hmm.
One way to describe it would be like alert calmness or active calm, where you're not,
Wow.
like jittery and fidgety and just going all over the place, but
Mm-hmm.
you know that you need to respond,
Yes.
right? You're alert to what's happening in your surroundings, but you're not getting triggered by any of them. There's no
Oh,
panic. So
okay.
just keeping your focus in that area of your heart and breathing.
Mm-hmm.
And there's another layer to this, and there's just so many layers to heart math. But
Mm-hmm.
one of the things is our heart has an electromagnetic field. We know our hearts have electricity. That's
Yes.
why when you take an ECG, it's measuring electricity. And
Mm-hmm.
anything that has electricity generates an electromagnetic field,
Mm-hmm.
right? For example, our cell phones have electromagnetic
Yes.
fields. And what is transmitted in EMFs is basically information. Our hearts have anywhere from 3 to 8 feet. That electromagnetic field extends out from our body 360 degrees, about 3 or 8
Mm-hmm.
feet, depends which research you read. And we are broadcasting out our emotions through that heart's field, because our emotions
Wow.
affect how our heart beats, or the heart's rhythm.
Mm-hmm.
So if in that situation where the flight is delayed, or there's also a lot of stress,
Mm-hmm.
if you're also becoming stressed, then you're broadcasting that information out, and your passengers can pick up on it and become even more agitated. But
Wow.
if you're able to keep calm, and what you're broadcasting out to your field is that state of calmness,
Mm-hmm.
then your passengers will also be affected. So I don't know who, if you've had people who, they come into a room
Mm-hmm.
and they're so calm and collected that everyone is affected, and where just calm down. Or there's some people who are just so uh, perky and bubbly and full
Yeah.
of life, but when they come into a room, they brighten up the room. I don't know if you've experienced some people who feel very holy, like maybe the Pope or the Dalai
Mm-hmm.
Lama, or we had one priest in high school, Father Reuter, who, once in his presence, you really felt there's a difference. They have an aura. And
Uh-huh.
so every one of us has that actually. So by learning to be conscious of your breathing and how that breathing affects your heart's rhythm, then
Mm-hmm.
you're also broadcasting that out. Diba? In the same
Okay.
way na pag may agit na tao, when they come into a room, after a while,
Yeah.
agit na rin yung ibang tao.
That's true. That's why parang sometimes about intentional or unintentional. So you really have to be aware of your heart rhythm. Is that, sorry, did I get the term right?
Well,
Heart rhythm?
yes,
Is a heart
rhythm, yeah. It's not
okay.
your heartbeat, ha, but
Mm-hmm.
it's like the pattern of how your heart is beating.
So, Doctor, how would you know the difference if I'm breathing the regular way or
The
the
difference
heart
is
focused breathing?
heart focused breathing. The difference is where where your focus or your attention is. For everyone, breathing is
Mm-hmm.
automatic. You don't really need to
Okay.
think about it.
Yes.
The same way where yoga practitioners have different breathing practices, or and
Mm-hmm.
I like was saying in meditation. In heart focused
Mm-hmm.
breathing, the main difference is your attention is in the area of your heart. At the start, while you're learning how to do this, and again, it's very easy and simple, practice it
Mm-hmm.
while you're not in a situation that's high stress.
Ah, okay.
You can practice it upon waking up, before you eat your meals, at bedtime,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and it doesn't have to be a long practice. Two
Ah,
or three
okay.
breaths at a time. And at the
Mm-hmm.
start, you can literally just put your hand over your heart area
Okay.
so that your focus is there.
Mm-hmm.
And then just imagine that your breath is flowing into that heart area and flowing out of your heart area. And if
Mm-hmm.
you're waiting in line at the elevator, which is usually, it's a waste of time because you're just waiting in line, you can use that to practice heart focused breathing, or when you go to the bathroom, because you don't need a long period of time. And then as you get more used to it, you don't need to put your hand over your heart. And it just takes practice where you can be in a situation and doing the heart focused breathing, but also still being able to pay attention to your surroundings and what you need to do. In fact, when we're doing that kind of breathing and your heart rhythm it's what's called in a coherent pattern, your brain actually functions better.
Wow.
So your perception is sharper. You can see things more accurately. You can think through the different options that you have. Let's say you're in a situation where there's a problem and you need to find a solution. So doing that kind of breathing will actually help you perform better. It's very powerful. It's very simple, but it can be very powerful.
Especially also in our line of work where we need to make decisions right away and you need a clear mind, so to speak, in that kind of situation, and being able still, like what you mentioned, to attend to all other needs of or all other aspects that we need to attend to with a calmer disposition, I guess, with heart focused breathing. Wow, ang galing, ang galing, no? Ang galing. That's really, really helpful kasi not only as a flight attendant, for sure, also for like you, doctor, like doctors, or for any kind of work, that's
for
very
everyone.
helpful.
Like, for example, for parents dealing with kids na baka medyo nagtatantrum, right? It's
multiple
hard to,
kids.
it's easy to lose your patience.
That's
but this
true.
one will help. So it's not just for work, it's also for home. It's very easy to teach.
Yeah, and the idea of that you give out that electromagnetic field, so having that unconsciously that electromagnetic field and that you give out has an effect as well to the environment and to you. So that's very, very, very nice. It's something that if you are just aware of.
Yeah, you know how people, yung term na ka-vibes.
Yes, that's what I was gonna say.
That
Parang
vibes.
yung vibes.
Yes.
So,
there's some people who ka-vibes mo yan, or minsan pagpasok mo sa room, pangit yung vibes. So say nag-aaway yung dalawang nasa room and then you come in, of course they'll shut up because they don't want you to know. But there's tension in the air. You feel it, right? So those vibrations we can pick up on.
Okay. So totoo pala yung whatever's in your heart will reflect. Okay. So that's a good practice. Okay.